Well, I'm sure you're groaning as you realise that this is another grocery trip. Life is so exciting here, isn't it? But I hate to tell you this, but things really are getting more expensive. For instance, I only did this shopping 2 days ago. It's on the. Not that I care about the dates these days. For me, the days are long. The days are long and the weeks are short. When I was my friend, I know I'm wandering as I usually do, but my friend Michael is for the most part in his bed at the moment, which is a great loss to me, and I'd like to thank to him and everyone else as well. But so we can't meet twice a week, and we used to call those meetings our sanity checks. Okay, so we'd go there and vent about a few things which we only ever vented about, just him to me, me to him. So I'm missing those greatly at the moment. But anyway, I'm finding now that I'm going more often to the supermarket. I'm going more often, and I looked at this 2 days ago. The reason I got off on that one was because Michael and I always say, "Wow, it's Tuesday again," or "It's Friday again. We met on Tuesday and Friday." And boy, those days came round like lightning. And yet, the days are long. Probably because I get up maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, and we go to bed fairly early, probably around 9 o'clock. But we don't do the usual thing of television. Now, I'm not apologising for getting off on a different stream, shall I say, because I only ever use these videos that I make of the grocery shopping. I only ever really use them as the guise for saying things that I might otherwise be slapped on the wrist for, and we are still being slapped on the wrist, if you get me. But anyway, to put in a little bit about the groceries, which one is this? Okay, we're looking here at this one is the 23rd, and this one is the 25th. So only 2 days between those shopping. Now, this one, which I already went over, and I'm sure you've actually been so engrossed in hearing that video that you've memorized everything that I said about it. But just in case there might be the odd person who forgets what happened in that video, I'll remind you that the total was 749 pesos. Yes, I know, you're all saying, we knew that. Anyway, the one today is, as I discovered, as I was watching in horror, as the cash, the till, I'm watching on the monitor, and it's going up, and it's around 550, 6, 750, 8, 9, and I'm reaching into my back pocket, which is where I keep cash, and I realise that as it climbs and takes flight over 1,000 pesos, that I haven't brought my wallet with me. So that gets to the final total PHP is 1,581. So I go through the embarrassment then, being an Englishman, we find the strangest things embarrassing. But I said to the ladies, sorry, I'll have to go down to my truck and get my wallet, and have them look at me and say, Why would anybody go shopping without their wallet? Well, I can't explain about my back pocket, can I? But anyway, so I rushed down and did it. Now, back to the groceries. I do try, by the way. Here, this is making our bill more. But it means that we started eating more meat. We're eating more. And the dogs are eating better as well, because Beth always cooks the entire bag, as you can see, and the entire bag is 207 pesos. Here's another 200 pesos. Now, being as bad as I am at math, I always choose, it sounds crazy, I know, but I choose the bag on the basis not so much of what the meat looks like inside it, although I do consider that, but I look at the price, and I can, anything that's just around 200, I can add that easily. Anyway, so there we are. We've got 3. Now this one is the little cut up pieces of meat rather than the bones, and we use that for making the curries, which we had last night again. So I'm putting these up so that you can get an idea, as I usually do. You can get an idea by just looking at the volume. Now, this is 100 pesos. It's for the dog. It's for washing the dog. I know that somebody who I think had been commenting quite regularly, and when we said that the dog wash, the dog shampoo, was quite expensive. Let me see how much that one was. No, of course, it's never on there when you want it. But I know that it was about 110 or 120, maybe 150. Oh, of course, I could always consult the let me see. No, it's not the baked beans or the pork bones or the green cabbage. Maybe it's the dog clean, and even that, it's not there. Where the hell is it? Must be there somewhere. Oh my God, look at that. Here's how efficient I am at doing the shopping. I'm showing this to you and saying, well, I know it was 120, maybe 150. Who could deny that I'm right? It was actually 291 pesos. So we spent. This is the craziness of a dog, of a pet owner, isn't it? So this was more expensive than a bag of meat, which will feed the 4 of us, including the dogs. So anyway, there you are. I also got some of these. These are for me, only for me. I drain off as best I can when I eat one of these. I drain off what looks like tomato ketchup. I drain it off as much as I can, and I went all out and spoiled myself and got 4 of those. So there we are, 4 there. I also got a bottle of honey, which I use every day. I use this in my tea. On the few occasions now, I don't seem to eat very much oats, but I'll put it in the oats as well. And occasionally, I might even have a spoonful of it in a big spoon, right? So, what else is there? These, even Beth has started to eating these like a snack. And this one, we're looking forward to this because they're bigger than usual. This is how in one shipment that they had, these were large and juicy, even if they had seeds. But then the other ones are much smaller, harder, and not quite as tasty as those, but we use those for snacks. So, actually, we are short one of these because we've got it in the pot for tonight, for dinner. But let me show you what that looks like. And I think you'll agree that it actually looks a little bit pathetic. Surely there must be something else in there. And there isn't. No, the box is empty. So just have a look at that. So it's not much, is it? But anyway, well, let me get on and do some of the other stuff. This is not terribly controversial, but every so often we get comments which are, I always think of that expression, the old cowboy expression. I mean, I love the cowboy movies, I have to say, and the expression that always stuck with me was, I remember once, maybe it was John Wayne or somebody like that, and he said, never shake hands with a left-handed drawer. So obviously while you're shaking hands with the right hand, and he can pull with the left hand and shoot your nuts off, if that's where he's aiming, of course. Mm-hmm. So I tend to remember that, and I notice that when people send comments, they often, the trolls, the haters, not to spend much time on haters, but they will do the left-handed draw thing. So with the right hand, they'll pay you a compliment. Wow, you really did do a lot of work there, didn't you, And then underneath it all, they say, can't imagine how you paid for it with the pensions that you're on. See, the left-handed draw. So, I've just had one. And if you're looking at the comments that we've been having over the last last 24 hours, you will see my response to it. Usually we just there's a thing that you can do when you're running a site. If you keep getting if you get nasty calls, text, comments, or anything like that, the best way we have always found is not to engage. So if somebody says, oh my God, you're only 86 and you look 150, what happened then? You don't need to respond to something like that. So you don't delete them, you delete the comment, but what you do is, if you want to leave the comment up there or leave it in notifications or whatever you decide to do, you can hide that person's comment. Now, what this does is it kind of messes with their mind, because if they're on that little roll of making negative comments, then they will continue to see their comment, but it will be hidden from the rest of us normal thinking humans. So if somebody does the nasties, and does this include what people tend to do, those who are going to do the left-handed draw on you, they're going to say, oh, you can't stand having any kind of criticism at all. Well actually that's not, it really isn't true. If somebody tells me that I can do something better, for instance, and I should go on to this quickly, if they say, well, your camera work was shaky, like right now, I keep elbowing the table and it's making the camera wobble about. I'm the first to admit that we're not a highly technical channel. What can I say? You're right. Those of you who say you really need to do something about your camera, you're absolutely right. And in fact, I did crumble on this, and I ordered online I ordered what looked like a sensational buy of a gimbal. I know that that's what they call it now. They call it a gimbal. And what the gimbal does is it has this thing that goes up, and then it goes over there, then it comes back here, and then it goes down and up, and it's like if you're filming somebody, they've got like a lump of scaffolding over them, and people are not, they're shy when you go on camera anyway, but everybody is used to being filmed and using their phone as a camera, so they're totally familiar with it, and it makes total sense. Say, do you mind if I can I film this? Then you put the camera up there, and they've seen it. They've seen this when they do selfies, which people are doing all the time, right? So that's an example of how I don't mind some criticism. If it's a suggestion, somebody has suggested me, why don't you, when we were talking about receipts, now this is a new receipt, and look, it's nice dark ink. I guarantee in a week that ink will have faded and you will not be able to see any prices or details on it. And somebody said, why don't you take a snapshot of the receipt, and then if you want to refer to it in a week, then you can do it. That's a great idea, and I never thought of it. So I'm okay with all kinds of stuff which I'm accused of being rigid on, and I'm not. So back to our Clever Dick or Clever Dicks, as they come about and they do their left-handed draw, they will say, I have this going and I have that going, and then they'll speak apparently from authority. Like if somebody quotes you and says, no, you're wrong on that, according to the Bible, and now you know that you've lost any argument if they quote the Bible, because it means they are quoting from authority. What can you say if it's written in the Bible? You know? So this is what these guys tend to do. We've had a couple lately, and one called me a con man, and I couldn't con everybody. Said, you're a con man and you can't con everybody. Well, would you be surprised if I tell you that I didn't leave that comment up, and I hit the guy, and for all I know, he's still out there calling me a con man and never realizing that nobody can hear him. So there we go. That's how we deal with some of the comments. If the comment is just a nasty, if it's telling me that I've got a big nose, I know I have a big nose. I've lived with it all my life. So we don't leave those comments up, because when I've gone to other sites myself and I've looked at some of the comments that are left up, and the first comment that's made might indeed be, wow, you've got a big nose, and then everyone after that is commenting on the comment about the big nose. It's not so big. Yes, it is. Oh, it's even bigger than that. And kind of influences the tone and quality of the following comments. Right? It's raining very hard. A lot of people have suddenly come in, and now they're watching me do a video, which is strange. And I will let you go. I hope that all of those of you who have been helping so much by sharing our videos will continue to do that. It is an enormous help. In fact, one of the comments that I had when I checked my comments this morning said, how come you're suddenly getting so many views? Well, the situation is that if our videos are being shared, if they are being commented on, and if they are being liked, And that's the dog trying to cough up something that it's eaten. Hopefully it's not going to die. No, it's not, because the dog does that often. But he's right now, he's under the bloody table. So, if you share, you do a lot of good for us. And we've been ghost censored for a long time now, and it's been putting our you'll be wondering what that noise is, so I'll turn this around. Heaven knows what he's doing. But Beth knows about it, apparently. So anyway, so share, please share, comment, subscribe, and even with the best evil intentions from YouTube, we will make it back up where we used to be again. Bye for now.